If you are watching this video, there is a really good chance you're watching other videos about neighborhoods in the Sarasota area. And I think that's awesome. The more you learn, the more you know, it's going to help you out because there are a lot of options. But in today's video, I want to share with you 5 general areas in Sarasota for you to consider. They're not specific neighborhoods, but a little bit of food for thought on different types of properties, things to consider, things to be worried about, things to be excited about, and everything else in between. So in today's video, like I said, 5 general areas in Sarasota for you to consider if you're thinking about buying here. Hi, I'm Jill Thomas. I'm a real estate agent here in Sarasota, Florida. I cover Sarasota, Bradenton, Parrish, Venice, everything in between. Sarasota and Manatee Counties is really my sweet spot. So if you have been thinking about moving here or doing something else with real estate, you have a property to sell, this might be a good channel for you to subscribe to and follow. But really, in the end, I would love to partner with you as you think about buying here or selling here. So please reach out to me, call, text, email. I'm happy just to answer questions. Not everybody decides to truly buy here. I talk to a lot of folks who then shift their focus to another area, and that's okay. But if there's something I can do to help you out as you make these big decisions, please reach out to me. Okay, so now let's tackle these 5 areas in Sarasota. Now, keep in mind, these are all properties with a Sarasota mailing address. This isn't Bradenton or Parrish, Venice, anything like that, Northport. I've done lots of videos on those other areas, so you could check those out too. Look under the Communities playlist tab on my YouTube channel, so you can find some of those and some of my older videos, because I do talk about pricing. You know, those numbers will change a bit, as this video might if you're watching this 6 or 12 months from now or somewhere farther down the line. Anyway, here we go. 5 areas in Sarasota to think about. Number 1, waterfront properties. Now, when people think of Florida, they think of the beaches. They think of water. Of course, of course, of course. And so it's always a dream of people to live on or near the water. So when I say waterfront, let's think about it, not necessarily where you always have a water view, but maybe you're on one of the barrier islands. So we're talking Siesta Key, Lido Key, Longboat Key, places like that. Or even on the mainland, you can be on the water. So first, let me clarify this. Just because you're on the water doesn't mean that you're going to go swimming. It doesn't mean you have a beach. Our beaches are really primarily just on the west coast of the barrier islands, of those keys. If you're on the east side, if you're on the bay or the intercoastal, whether you're on if you're on the barrier islands, the east side, or if you're on the mainland, and you're looking at water, there's going to be a seawall there. That is not sandy beaches at all. It's going to be a seawall. It's ideal to potentially have a boat there, a dock, a kayak, launch, something like that. So if you want toes in the sand, you've got to be on the west side, on the Gulf side. The bay or the intercoastal isn't going to cut it for you. So keep that in mind. Sometimes people are a little surprised by that. So of course, like I said, we've got these barrier islands. You can be on the mainland, or you have to go over a bridge to be waterfront. Now, some of our less expensive properties are going to be in much older buildings or older homes. Some of these buildings would have been built in the 50s and 60s and 70s. And then we do have some newer ones as well. So keep in mind that the lower price points are going to get you a very small property, a very old one that probably needs updating, and it does not have a view. And it may not necessarily be like right on the beach, right on the Gulf side, even without a view. There could be. So let's talk about these exact numbers. With the condominiums, you can get something for around $500,000. Again, small, old, no view. And then you can get a luxury condo in the millions. Now with the single family homes, you're really looking at about $1 million, like to be on Siesta Key or Lido Key, something like that, without a view or anything. It's going to be in rough shape. And then it goes up into the millions and millions. $15-20 million is what we're talking about. So you definitely have to spend a couple $1 million on a home to get something halfway decent, and it's probably not going to be on water. Now, if you are waterfront, think flood zone, okay? You're not going to get away from that at all. So plan on being in a flood zone. So your insurance can be pretty steep. And even with condominiums now, you could be on the 10th floor and you still have to pay flood insurance. Things are constantly changing with insurance. Again, 6 months from now, some of these things might be a little bit different, but that's the way it is today. So plan on paying for flood insurance. You'll need wind, all those kind of good things. The house needs to be in solid condition to just get insurance. So things are really going to have to be up to code, past that 4-point inspection. And then the other thing too is the carrying costs, the association dues for a lot of these condominiums. Maybe at the low end, you could find something about $800 a month, but a lot of them now are kicking in over $1,000 a month for those carrying costs. So just keep that in mind. And of course, we've got property taxes too, and that will vary from property to property. So number 1, Waterfront Properties. Number 2, downtown Sarasota. Wow, downtown Sarasota is definitely on fire. It's changed so much since I moved here in 91, and definitely real estate has changed since 2008 when I got licensed. My eyes have definitely been opened on a lot of things there. Now, there again, just like with the Waterfront Properties, definitely some old buildings, but they're building a lot of new places there in the last 10 years or so. Big high rises, different things, mixed use where maybe there's commercial on the bottom, residential up above. Just a fun concept to think about, being able to walk to restaurants and shops and the movies and, get a cup of coffee and all that good stuff. Now, downtown Sarasota is really a like 4-sided polygon, not a perfect rectangle at all. It's bordered east and west by the Bay and 301, and then north and south, Mound Street, which is really 41, and then Fruitville to the north. So that's our general area for downtown Sarasota. Now, if you just cross over Fruitville Road, it's kind of downtown edge, sort of still downtown-ish, and then even to the south of Mound. And then Golden Gate Point, which is a little kind of peninsula that sticks out adjacent to the marina, right before you go over the Ringling Bridge to head out to Lido Key and St. Armand Circle. So all those areas are really quite ideal. Now, again, mixture of condos and homes. There's definitely more condominiums in the core part of downtown Sarasota for sure. And just like with the Waterfront Properties, the older ones, not updated, no view, are definitely going to be our less expensive ones. So when you hear these numbers, don't think, okay, well, is she saying the low end $400,000 or $500,000 for a condo? Maybe for a few $100,000 more, I can get something pretty nice with a nice view. It's not quite. So like I was saying, low end for a condo, $400,000 or $500,000, for high end, definitely into the millions. There are some condos downtown that are even $8 million. And then same thing with the single family homes. You can actually get a house in the downtown area in that little hub for $500,000 or so, below $1 million. But it's going to be tiny. It's going to be old. It's going to need a lot of work. And again, just like with the Waterfront Properties, we have to be mindful of insurance issues, the condition of a house. It may or may not be in a flood zone there, things like that. So it's really important to count the cost. There's more to it than just the price of the home and taxes, let's say. We want to think about those carrying costs with the condominiums. Same thing. Some of those numbers can be pretty high for your monthly dues. It could be over $1,000 a month to stay in some of these luxury condominiums. So, and then there's also some big changes right now in the state of Florida with these high-rise condos in regards to the condition, to reserves. I did a video on that. In fact, the one attorney emailed me again yesterday, said, okay, Jill, there's more changes coming. I'm going to do another class. I want to make sure that you're there. And I'm thinking about doing a video with them. So I'm going to drop that link down below for you guys too. You got to be aware of these high-rise condominiums and some of the changes here in the state of Florida. Big stuff. Okay, now, if you are super excited about the Sarasota area, hop on over to my Facebook and Instagram pages. Links are down below in the description. So you can follow me over there because I do very current recent statistics, a little bit of everything, the real estate, and then the fun things that are happening in our area, things you need to be aware of, highlight. So I've got really great feedback, even from people that live here in Sarasota. They're like, oh, I just love the information you put on there. It keeps me mindful. Things that are happening around here that sometimes you forget about once you live here all the time. So anyhow, take a look at my Facebook and Instagram pages. Number 3, I'm going to call the hub. This is really central Sarasota. This is where I live, and it's so perfect for me just being in real estate because I'm in the middle of everything. So whether I need to go farther north, south, east, or west, I am in a good place. So what I am calling the hub, and this is Jill's definition, this is no like particular local rule or local school of thought. This is me as a professional talking. I kind of consider this hub Fruitville, south, Clark, north, and then east and west between I-75 and 41. Now, if you're just slightly north of Fruitville, you're still good. Slightly south of Clark, that's still good. But this is just a good general rule of thumb, just to be in the middle of it all. And boy, there is everything available. New construction, old, cookie cutter homes, things that are eclectic, HOA dues, no HOA dues, gated communities, not gated communities, 55 plus. If I hadn't said it yet, condos, single family homes, villas, townhouses. I mean, you name it, it is in here. All price points from, relatively inexpensive to multi-million dollar homes. It's all in this central location. Also, flood zones, no flood zones. I mean, just everything is here. So what I love about being central, like I already said, is it can kind of get you anywhere and everywhere. I'm close to the beaches. I'm not terribly far. I'm close to I-75 to zip north and south and everywhere, everything in between. Restaurants, shops, you name it. So even if you're, you can get close to UTC in this area, if you want to get up to Lakewood Ranch, University Town Center. So, or go down to Venice, there's so many different events and activities all over here on the west coast of Florida. So when you're kind of in this hub, you are definitely in a sweet spot. Now, just to give you a general idea on prices, because this is a lot of stuff going on, really for a single family home, you can get something as low as $200,000 and as much as $5 million. So now you're thinking, oh my goodness, Jills, that's so awesome. Like, I want to see those $200,000 homes. Hey, I'll go up to $250,000. But here's the thing. If you want to buy a house like that in this area, it definitely needs to be cash. The house almost just needs to be torn down. They're pretty ugly. They're pretty messy. You're not getting insurance on them. They are not livable at all. It's not like, oh, well, a little weekend project. Nope, they are a hot mess. So if you're getting a loan, you're not going to be able to get one of these lower priced single family homes. The median sale price for this area is $550,000 for the houses. For condos, villas, and townhomes, the prices run from $150,000 to just over $1 million. And then the median sale price is like $385,000. So again, the lower priced properties are going to be pretty messy, pretty bad. Sometimes I'll have people excited and they want me to show them things that are at the really low price point, and I kind of give them a heads up. But sometimes you got to see it to believe it type of thing. They'll go, well, it's a mess, or it needs a lot of work. And it's like, well, when you get the lowest price range in our area, in any market, okay, it's just not the Sarasota area, it's going to be, obviously the properties are in the poorest condition. There's going to be a defect of some sort. So just keep that in mind. Number 4, master plan communities. A master plan community in general means it's an area where you can work, live, and play. And Sarasota and Bradenton, both of our counties here, definitely have their fair share of master plan communities. So the 3 I'm going to talk about, because they all have Sarasota mailing addresses, is first the Meadows. The Meadows is located just north of Fruitville Road, so still really kind of close to that hub, just west of I-75. And you know what? It's the first master plan community in the United States. It was built back in the 1980s. And I really love the Meadows. I think it's super charming. I love all the mature trees. There's something about it has just a nice, cozy feel to it. I don't know. I just think it's really, really lovely. And then the next one is Palmer Ranch. Now, Palmer Ranch is, again, just outside of that little hub, that sweet spot, just south of Clark, still west of I-75. Some of the homes there are 20-something years old, but there's still new construction going on there. Really, really popular. I kind of like Palmer Ranch if you do want to be a bit closer to the beaches, but still live in a house that's newer and you like this kind of feel of these types of communities. I think Palmer Ranch is the way to go. And then next is Lakewood Ranch. Now, Lakewood Ranch only more recently, last, 4 years, ventured down into Sarasota County, where there's a Sarasota mailing address. So that's anything south of University Parkway, north of University Parkway, all the way up to State Road 64. It's still Lakewood Ranch, but it is in Sarasota County now, but it's east of I-75. So a little bit farther out there. There's a few lovely neighborhoods in there that are really beautiful, beautiful homes. So those are our 3 master plan communities here in the Sarasota area. So as you can imagine, the Meadows is going to be the most affordable because the properties are older. In the Meadows, you can still get a nice condo under $500,000. It might not be in perfect shape. It could still have popcorn on the ceilings, but I like the feel of some of those older condos there. They just feel a lot wider. They feel more homey, a lot of them, and less apartment-like. I don't know, they just have a nice feel. And they do have single family homes in there as well. So that's definitely going to be the more affordable of all these three communities. In Lakewood Ranch, there's some villas in there. So it's kind of like buying one half of a duplex for around $500,000 or so, I saw. Now, of course, that can change in a heartbeat. And then they've got single family homes as low as like $750 up, past $1 million in this area. And then in Palmer Ranch, the homes start around $600,000. And again, even if they're newer, they're going to definitely be smaller. You're not going to have maybe not necessarily a really great view there, and then up to about $2 million as well. So, and then in both Lakewood Ranch and Palmer Ranch, I think up in Lakewood Ranch too, in that area, there's some townhomes available that are around $500,000. So I've had some people who've shown interest in some of those townhomes because it's sort of nice. It feels a little bit more cozy than a regular condo, but it's maintenance free, so they can come and go. So there's definitely a place for those townhomes as well. But I think all three of these areas definitely have their merits. They're all beautiful in their own way, and I just really do think that they're worth taking a look at. Number 5, east of I-75. Now, if I did this video a while ago, let's say 5, 7, 8 years ago, I would be saying one thing, but now, wow, oh wow, there is so much out there. Now, that used to be our country. Lots of homes with acreage. There's actually horses out that way, people with horse farms and barns and all that kind of good stuff. But now there's a lot of new construction. Some of the new construction has smaller lots. There's some out there, or, not necessarily new, but not old, where the land has bigger yards, gated communities, lots and lots going on out there. There's golf courses out there, everything, a little bit of everything. And so you think, ooh, okay, farther east, maybe it's going to be less money. I can get a house with a bigger yard. That sounds nice. And it does. But keep in mind that you're not going to get something with a big yard under $1 million out there. It's definitely carrying a pretty solid price tag to get what you want. I had a gentleman call me recently, and he was super excited about, I just need an acre or two. I don't need much. And I let him know it's going to be over $1 million. He goes, well, that was really not what I wanted my budget to look like. And so you just don't know until you ask, and it's okay. I'm not, of course, not putting that gentleman down. You don't know until you know. And that's why you're watching videos like this. So if you're out there, you want something with more land, you definitely have to pay for it. They do have newer construction. Sky Ranch is out there, which is a Taylor Morrison community, just like all of our other new construction communities, beautiful homes, but smaller yards. So there's a lot happening out there. But as a result, I'm just not going to give you any solid numbers. It's just so much variety. It's kind of hard to throw numbers out to you like that. But if you are interested in living farther east, let me know, and I can help you take a look at those numbers and what you can get, how much it's going to cost for what you want. What's our market out there? The one nice thing is with some of this new construction and growth out there, Publix and different commercial properties are making their way farther east, so you don't have to drive so far just to go to the grocery store. So that's been a huge blessing for people out that way. Okay, so I hope this little overview of these 5 areas were a help to help you kind of make up your mind or give you some direction on what direction you need to go in. And like I said before already, just give me a call if I can help you out to kind of sift through these different areas, the process and pros and cons of each area. I'm happy to help you out. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.